What up YouTube, my name is Radiant Sealer and what I have for you today, Tamers, is a deck profile for my undefeated yellow hybrid deck. This is a security control focused yellow hybrid deck, but it is mostly for the yellow hybrids, and so I call it as such. Now this deck we took to locals and I wasn't even the one piloting it. I did have a friend ask to play this. He'd never touched it before. He just wanted to play something other than his own blue hybrid deck. And so we wanted to play this, and I let him, and he went undefeated. Now mind you, our locals at the time were singles with Mulligan. So he had a pretty good chance to fix up his hand. But anywho, let's go right through and see how this deck plays. So, yellow hybrid, so we're running Upamon and the Cupidmons for our babies, and we're running 4 of these Cupidmons. So this is primarily just to get as much draw off as possible, same as with most other decks in this style. You want to keep drawing and you want to be able to draw into the late game, so you need to run 5 babies. I have been thinking of testing a variant of this in which we run the green babies instead and go for green rookies instead of yellows. I'll probably test that out in our next locals and see where that ends up. For yellow rookies we're running 7. We're running 4 Patamon. This thing is just, this has gone from being one of my most difficult cards to play, so being my, oh god, I'm playing yellow, how can I not include this in one set? So what this does is, inherit effect, you gain a memory when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0. So this is a play extender, and that is just great. One negative is that it only has 1000 DP, so it dies to just about everything, but it's so great with this deck. So next 3, we're running 3 Salamon. I have been testing out different rookie picks for this, because I don't really feel like I often get off the recovery, because usually when this pops, I'm going to, or when I play this, I'm gonna digivolve it into one of the champions. And so I'm never actually getting to recover, but it is a nice option to have in the late game, especially if you're up against aggro. This thing can really change how that battle plays out. I've also been testing with the Unplayed Paladin that heals, recovers on if you have 1 health. And that fared okay as well, but still sort of not as good as it could be. Salamon is also a viable pick here if you need that 1000 for your Rabbitman to pass something, so that's pretty good. I'm also running 2 white rookies. I'm running 2 Bokomon. This is a staple in my opinion in hybrids. What it is it's basically a memory boost in Digimon form, which is, I think, why most people consider it slightly worse than Yellow Mem Boost, because this can be defeated through removal options, and it sucks in the mirror match. Like in the mirror match you really don't want to play this, because it's just going to get reduced and die awfully. But it is the search top 5 for hybrid and tamers, and you get 2 memory from digivolving on a tamer. So essentially this frees up your space for going into a mega on 1 turn instead of 2. Hybrid package, we're running Zephyrmon Kazemon. Since this is a yellow hybrid, you have to run the actual yellow hybrids. Just amazing, like Zephyrmon transforms your entire security zone into a bomb field. So unless your opponent's packing that jamming, they are going to lose some Digimon. Other 4 champions, we're only running 12 in this deck. We're running 4 Rabbitmon. This thing is absurdly good, especially for its price. Like here in Europe, it's taken quite a while for this thing to get to 10 euros. I remember at the start, I traded for 2 of these, and I paid 2.5 euros worth. And now it's at 10, and this alt art is at 25. You need to get these before they price spike even more, I think, because as this deck continues topping, and I do think it will, I think Rapidmon is going to be an engine we're going to see until the day it becomes suspended or limited or banned or something. So you really want to get this. So what it does is you suspend up to any number of opponents' Digimon, up to the number of tamers you have on play as you digivolve into this, and then you choose up to 3 of those suspended Digimon and you nick them 4 or 5000. So this runs over 90% of the cards you'll see in the active meta. maybe even more. Like it's just hilarious, and then it has armor perch as well. So even if it runs into something that originally had 12, you're still going to be keeping that rookie around. Sometimes even healing from Salamon afterwards, which is pretty decent, I think. Pretty decent, yes. Funny interaction is like when this would be deleted. You can armor trash this, and then the Salamon underneath, I think, triggers its effect to heal, but I'm not quite certain of the interaction there, but I think it would, since this would die from armor trash first. So yeah. Ultimates, just 4 of them. We're running 4 JetSilphymon. Like this deck doesn't build very much into like the big bullies. Like it's not the megas that carry this deck, right? It's this ultimate, which is insane, and then it's the Rapidmon. So this is a cost 1 if it's digivolving on a Digimon with a Tamer in its materials, and if it's digivolving on a hybrid, you also get to heal. Really isn't much to say there. It's a 1 cost heal, which is just like insane. Now for the megas, I'm running 1 Falldown mode. You only get to recover in this deck because I'm not running any purple engines. I've been thinking of trying out like the BT7 format deck where you run both purple and yellow Digimon, just to see if there's a way to build that. But for now, you're only getting the recovery. What you want with this, of course, is to play its Undeletion effect to recover a Digimon, and then it's just a 12k beater, which is quite nice in a deck that reduces the opponent's DP. So you can easily run over anything with this. That's pretty good. Now, as a play extender for that, I'm also running 1 Wargreymon. If you've forgotten what he does, it's when he's attacking, you get to add the top card of your security stack to your hand and then unsuspend him and reduce the DP of a Digimon by 6,000. So you get to strike with this twice in 1 turn. He's only cost 3, so he's really cheap to make with this deck. And he just completely punishes your opponent in the same style as a Rapidmon. I've been testing this at 2. I actually think the tournament this deck ran 2, but afterwards I've decided to go down to 1 since that's just enough. Same with Falldown mode. You only want to see them once. Anywho, if anything, this is the one you want to include more of. Like Falldown mode is good because it synchronizes well with a certain Tamer. But this thing is just an overall removal spell, which is insane, and you can totally take the damage with this deck, and it also wins the mirror matches. I'm running 2 Susanoomons at level 7, mostly because this is an anti-mill card. Like the placing 10 hybrids and tamers from your trash at the bottom of your deck, that's sort of what wins you the mirror match, because you can always prolong the game until you don't mill out, and so your opponent will mill out, and this will ensure that that's how it goes. It's also security 3 and a removal spell, which is just insane. So this, yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's the Digimon. I'm running more than most, I think. But now we're going into the options, and we're running 3 yellow mem boosts. Like, just a staple to pick up any card from the deck that you really need to play. Only Digimon you can't target is Bokomon with this deck, and that's okay. Reveals up 4 for yellow, and then delay gain 2 memory. It's just really crazy good, especially because when you pop it as a security effect, you get to place it and keep those 2 memory for the going for game when you need to play extend. Also running the 1 reinforcing memory boost. This card is just absurd. Checked up 2, place 1 of them in the top of your security stack and 1 of them in your hand, so it both fixes your hand and it fixes your security with a security control-ish deck, which is just crazy. Security control options, we're running 3 Wine's Breath. This just nukes like 90% of the game, and even the cards it doesn't nuke will usually die to running into a Bokomon in your security afterwards, so they'll fall to anything. This deals with so many things. I'm also running 3 Eden's Javelin as other removals. Like, I've been sitting on this like basically since it came out, thinking this is a pretty decent card, never including it in any decks. And then I see the winner of that Ultimate Cup actually having this in his deck, and I'm like, I was right, why didn't I do it? So now I'm doing it. Thank you for inspiring me to follow what I think is good. It says draw 1 and then get one of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 1000 for each card in your hand. It's just such a win card. So many things this thing takes out. since this deck digivolves so much, it has so much hand consistency. It's just quite insane. So Tamers, that was it for options, by the way. Tamers, we're running 2 TKs. I'm not highballing these. I want one early game, and if I see something in there that's annoying me, I want the second one to take it out. I won't shy away from burning myself to grab a Susanoomon or a Bokomon unless it's the mirror match, because Rabbitman just demolishes that. But yeah, 2 TK. Also for memory Tamers running 2 Kari, and this is why 2 TK is fine, because we're still running 4 memory Tamers. And Kari actually makes TK better, because when you recover, you can suspend Kari to gain a memory. And that sort of improves TK a bit, because that makes him a cost 3 memory tamer, and then you can digivolve on top of him afterwards, which is quite nice. So I think Kari definitely buffed up this deck by quite a bit. Especially also making JetSilphymon a 3 digivolve is just crazy. I'm running 2 Cody at the moment. This is like the thing I keep testing for. Is this a 2 or a 3 or a 4? It really comes down to deck lineup. Since I'm only running 5 multicolor targets in this deck, I'm only running the 4 Rapidmon and the 1 Falldown mode. Cody is less good, because his suspend to reduce DP by 2000 only works if it's a multicolor Digimon that is attacking, and so you will have to keep that in mind when playing him. But he is still a +1 memory per turn, which is quite decent, but with the 3 yellow memory boost and the 2 Bokomon, I think it can make do. I'm running 1 anti-aggro tamer, Tk Kari. Start of your turn, if you have 3 less security than your opponent, you gain 2 memory. So this is just to stop people from poking me, so I can get to build up a decent security stack before we get into the end game. Like getting Jesmond really hurt for this. Delicate Plan really hurts this deck. But if your security is at 10, it's quite unlikely that you're going to die. It also has the suspend to reduce by 1000 when you're striking with a yellow, and that's the most of the deck, so that's pretty nice. So one of those, and lastly I'm running 4 Zoe just to have the good digivolve target for the hybrids, and this is definitely a hybrid focused deck. So that was it. I think most matchups is just fine. The worst one is the mirror match, because that will usually go to time. Second worst, I think, is Jesmon and actually 3 Musketeers. 3 Musketeers is insanely strong against this, and I think Greymon also has a lot. Imperialmon I haven't had a single trouble with yet. It just, I don't think I've ever lost to an Imperial using this deck, so that's, yeah, that's pretty fine. I think this deck is very potent, and that we can expect the ban limit list to hit this at some point. I don't hope it'll be Rapidmon, because that would be really sad for the upcoming Terriermon deck, but I could see why you might hit that. Or Susanoomon, that's also a soft hit, I think. Or JetSilphy. Like limiting JetSilphy, that's just making this deck unplayable. Anywho, that was it for my yellow hybrid deck profile. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think of this and which other deck profiles you might want me to take a look at. My name's been Radiant Seela, and I'll see you all next time, Tamers.